And yeah, we're back again this week. Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Comunicado Oficial. As of right now, the transfer window just closed about 10 minutes ago, and we're expecting a big announcement for one of the teams at 11:15 p.m. or 11:15 p.m. UK
UK
time.
time.
And I don't know. And I think, yeah, it's 11:15, so we're expecting an announcement. I think it's time to party for Arsenal at this point now. So, congratulations, Arsenal. But yeah, everyone, welcome to another episode of Comunicado Oficial. Transfer window is over. We just had one of the most mesmerizing football weeks ever in my lifetime. I'm sure most people can say the same as well too. But yeah, we just want to continue to thank you guys for all the things you've been doing, continuously engaging with our platforms, engaging with everything that has to do with us, and we are coming more with more content. We're coming with more content. So keep listening, keep trying, and keep commenting. Just let's keep moving the content as we move and all of that. And yeah, today we have four guests. As usual, Feyi is back in the building this week. I'm sure he's ready to party at this point right now.
Static. Good to be back. Good to be back.
Then we have Bolu for a long time no see because he's been
I was
angry.
waiting for Partey. I was waiting for Partey to come. Don't worry.
He timed his return at the right time. Then we are in therapy today, so we had to bring another person who was quite broken this weekend from his matches, and is one of our partner podcasts and like one of the he runs the Lone Striker podcast. He's been on this podcast a long time ago. We've been speaking a lot, and yeah. So Damien, welcome back to the show. Thank you for coming on the show this week.
Nice to be here.
Nice to be here. So, just a quick roundup. Let's just see as anything happened.
Yep, he's been announced. He's officially announced not playing.
No Thomas, no Partey. Come on, they can do better.
So boring. So
Come on.
boring.
I expected better, to be honest.
They're always flopping announcements. But anyways, yeah. So congratulations, Arsenal. They got one of their prime targets. And yeah, I guess we'll start from Arsenal, honestly, this week. So you guys won the game against Sheffield United. So I'll leave the floor to you, Bolu. Like, what did you think of the game this week?
Honestly, the first half was boring.
Mhm.
Second half picked up, and I was finally excited that Arteta played Aubameyang through the middle. I went to Pepe on the right and Willian on the left.
Mhm.
It just because Aubameyang on the left, if he's not getting service, he really doesn't offer us much more. It's his goals that we need. So him playing up front just enables that, and it creates space for the others also. And I was also impressed with I think we played the 3-4-3, but Saka was drifting in and playing as the third midfielder. And they excelled in that role. And this one, now that we didn't sign another midfielder, I'm expecting that the other young talents like Saka and Emil Smith will be expected to step up the season to provide those creative juices into the team right now. But yeah, I'll say it's been a good weekend to be an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, honestly, going into the weekend, it was very, very frustrating because the news of our deal breaking down came out on Saturday morning. I was so frustrated. And like every other Arsenal fan, was so frustrated. It looked like we're going to go through another season without backing because it's obvious that Arteta is doing his thing at the moment. Like he seems to be a really, really good appointment at the moment, and all we needed was for our board to at least show some ambition and back him, but it looked like it wasn't going to happen at the time. So the result of the weekend was going to be very, very, very crucial because it could have caused a complete meltdown in the Arsenal fan base. And talking about the game itself, like Oli said, the first half was terrible. Probably the worst football we played since West Ham. Very, very boring, sideways, backwards, no chances created. The only chance we had was from a 35-yard shot from Aubameyang. Like, it was terrible. But once Pepe came in, and that's the Pepe I want to see every week, just direct, run at them. I don't want to see Willian on the left again, on the right again. I want to see Aubameyang on the left again. But all things said, we were still in dire need of midfield signings, and obviously, like I just said, Arsenal have just signed Thomas Partey, which he's a world-class midfielder in my opinion, brings a lot to our midfield, but it's not just him that we need. We should have got Awa as well. So I believe in the next window we should be in for a creative midfielder as well.
Yeah. So now, speaking of Partey, Partey just signed for you guys. From my own opinion, everyone can see that I've always been in Partey's hive from time, bro. Like, I've always wanted him in my team, sadly, but we're very incompetent. So, um, I applaud Arsenal for pulling off that signing. And in the manner they pulled it off, I can't even lie to you, I love it so much.
Absolutely perfect.
It's elite shithousery, in my own opinion, because
Perfect.
the whole point of signing in La Liga is that the release clause is paid to La Liga and not the club. So the club have absolutely no idea that you've even paid the release clause by that time. So all that happened was that the La Liga informed them that, oh, like Partey has been released from his contract and his contract is terminated, so here's your money. So they had no idea. Simeone made these plans and everything. But in terms of tactically, this pushes Arsenal towards top four, in my opinion. We're not gonna speak about predictions. We're gonna save that for the next episode. But like, from my own opinion, I think tactically it brings in an outstanding player, in my opinion. And for you guys, for you Arsenal fans, what do you think Partey brings to the table?
There's a lot of Arsenal fans who have said since was it 2005 that we haven't replaced Patrick Vieira, and I think this is the closest we have come to doing that, in my own opinion. Like, he's not just a shooting DM. Like I said last week, he's one of the best ball dribbling midfielders in the entire Europe. So he brings a lot to the table in terms of what he can do. He can win the ball back. He can sit. He's a ball carrier. He can progress the ball. And he has a bit of a pass on him as well, because you see him dropping those defense splitting passes, not regularly, but once or twice. So he brings a lot of things that we're missing to the Arsenal midfield. And like I said, just pushes up to that top four position. Like, I would say solidifies our spot, but makes us a clear contender for top four, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, what about yours?
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying, the addition of Partey now brings like variety to our midfield. Because instead of the whole double pivot in the 3-4-3 system we've been playing, now we can use the two. We can switch it to a three where Partey sits. We can use it where he plays as an eight, which now just adds variety to Arteta's system. Because Arteta is all about flexibility. And from his games, he would like this addition of a player who can play in different roles,
Mm-hmm.
who has different characteristics, and is good at winning the ball, he's good at progressing the ball, which is what Arsenal is trying to do right now, be a good compact team, but also play out from the back. So Partey fits well into what Arteta wants. And as for top four, I definitely feel now we strengthened the cause to get into top four. Because if you look at rivals, because now it's more like a top 10, not even top 8, with Everton strengthening.
Mm-hmm.
West Ham looked like they might maybe give something disturbance. Leicester was strengthening. Tottenham had a good window. So it's one of those ones where Arsenal needed to make a statement saying that, look, we can see all of you doing your work. We're also here. We want to make top four. And Arteta, as a young manager, we are here to back him. So I feel it's a statement of confidence in Arteta going forward that, look, you are a man and get us Champions League.
Yeah. Damien, what do you think of the signing of Partey for them?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm really happy for Arsenal fans. Like, normally, Arsenal before, whenever they are, tagged with a really top player, we all know it's ending in tears. They never really sign their top targets. Well, it seems lately they've been signing theirs, and yeah, I'm happy for them. Uh, Thomas Partey, to be honest, I've not really watched that much of him, but the few games I've watched, you can see he's very strong. I think that's one thing Arsenal they lack in their midfield. Xhaka tried to be that type of midfielder, but you can also see he hasn't really lived up to the hype when he came. So yeah, he brings something different to that team. Although, if I'm gonna be honest, like Partey started playing regularly for Atletico Madrid like 2 seasons ago, 18-19 season. That's when he like was fully integrated into the team. So I just want Arsenal fans not to just have high hopes for him, because this is an Arsenal team that's struggling. Like, Partey is not going to come in and do everything himself. So his first season might not be the greatest, but yeah, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 seasons, he can be a really, really, really top player.
Do you guys disagree with that?
100%.
You agree? You disagree with it?
100%.
Why?
Why do you disagree with him?
Arsenal is not much of a struggling team at this moment. Like, um, I don't know how to explain it, but the view of Arsenal is they're struggling this and that, blah blah blah. But Arsenal is generally tilting towards becoming a very, very balanced team on paper. If you look at it, like our front three, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe, Willian, very balanced front three. All we needed to stake our claim for a top three was a creative midfielder this season. We've got Gabriel. He looks like he's still like the biggest bargain of the window so far. He's played 3 games, won 3 Man of the Match awards. He's solid. He's transformed our defense, in my opinion. Look at Kieran Tierney. No more said Colasso, and Bellerin looks like a completely different player. Leno is a world-class keeper, in my opinion, and Arteta is a quality manager. So I wouldn't say Arsenal is struggling. I don't expect us to have a mediocre season. And if we do have a mediocre season, it's not something I would accept, because this squad is not bad. It's not bad. It's good enough for us to actually challenge for top four and with the signing of Partey, we should be getting top four with the signing of Partey. That's just what I'm trying to say. Not struggling, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. On to the next game. I'm gonna go straight into the Liverpool game first of all. That was a bit like mad.
Indescribable.
It was shocking.
It was shocking.
Very shocking.
Not 1, not 2, but 7.
7.
Like 6 European titles plus 1. That's what they did to you guys. It's mad still. Because
I still don't think it has been deeped properly. Like 7-2.
2 against Aston Villa.
7 against Aston Villa. 7-2. That's crazy.
I don't know what happened.
I don't even know. First of all, if you watch Sky Sports, you hear Jamie Carragher talking about Liverpool's high line, how they're not very good with it. That like in the high line, the players are not ready to rub back when the ball is beaten over the top. They just stand, blah blah blah. But watching the game, it just looked messy all over the place. Like Aston Villa's goals weren't all that. The first goal was a mistake, couple deflections. Adrian is the worst goalkeeper I've seen in the history of the Premier League. It's not good enough, and it makes you think like, is the season more open than we actually thought it was going to be? Like, are Liverpool going to run away with the title like they did last season? 7-2 is not a small thing. 7-2 is, they lost 2-1. That's understandable, but 7-2, 7. Arsenal haven't considered 7 since Man United.
Personally, I think that Liverpool game was a one-off. Because you look at it, everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When a player puts his body on the line, it's a deflection in. We all know Adrian is a terrible goalkeeper. So
Damian refuses to accept that, yeah.
Adrian is. I think after this, you should accept that he's a terrible goalkeeper.
So when you're done, I'll give my own opinion.
Yeah, and like everything that went wrong, like that could possibly go wrong, went wrong. Because at first I was saying, no, maybe it's fatigue, but you cannot blame fatigue or a high or coming off a title-winning season for conceding 7 goals against Aston Villa. So I personally think it's a one-off, and probably it's a wake-up call for Liverpool also. Because this past week, yes, they beat Arsenal and then they lost in penalties, but the Arsenal game was closer than we thought, and even the penalties when they also lost. So I think this might just be a wake-up call for Liverpool that, look, better get serious if you want to try and get this title again.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Like, that game was definitely a one-off. Like, I'm not really bothered about the scoreline, to be honest. Like, the way we played was, like, so terrible. Normally, when you see a Liverpool team, the key in Liverpool's team is pressing in the midfield. The 3 midfielders we played that day just didn't want to do that. Keita, Fabinho, and Wijnaldum. None of them wanted to press. So it was really easy. Like if you look at Aston Villa goals, all they just needed was like one or two passes, and they are behind our defense. You know, one long ball from Minks to Grealish, and that's it, goal. And
McGinn into
also,
Grealish. That's where it was all
yeah,
like the way the backline was just like you guys. They could just go through your backline was quite like where's that defense? Where's that resolute defense we used to see from Liverpool? We don't see it anymore.
yeah,
It's
that's
quite
what I'll say.
scary.
It was from the midfield. Like our midfield this season have not been the greatest because, like, if you watch that game, Grealish had a 1v1 against Trent so many times, and like that's not something that happens regularly. At least when a winger is facing Trent, there's always a midfielder there, helping him, so it turns to a 2v1.
So
So yeah,
Jordan
like,
Henderson.
yeah, either Jordan Henderson or maybe Wijnaldum, but like nobody was just doing that, so just so easy for them. And also, luck was not on our side. Three of their 7 goals were deflections, and then Adrian made a mistake. Like Adrian's mistake, to be honest, it happened in the fourth or third minutes, but we could still have won the game. So I don't blame Adrian for that loss. A lot of Liverpool fans wanted to like cause that guy's head yesterday after the game, but for me, I'm like, this guy made a mistake in the third minute. We still had about 87 minutes to play. Why didn't we like pick up or something? But like, yes, it's a one-off. It's not something rival fans are gonna see every day. That's for
But
sure.
did you see the seventh goal?
The seventh goal. That was
Positioning
the
on that was just it was he shouldn't be beating. His position on the seventh goal. He didn't try to make himself big. He just came out and stood, not even in the middle. Just he left. I don't know how he did it, but he left his near post open and his far post open. I don't know how possible that is, but that's what he did. I don't understand.
but before that seventh goal, he made another 1v1 save against, I think, Watkins. So like Adrian is not
Yeah.
the best goalkeeper in the world. Obviously, he's not the best top 20 or anything. But if you watch the game against Arsenal, the Carabao Cup, he saved us now. It's the reason why we entered penalties. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watched it. He had one massive save
Yeah, the
against
holding
Holding. Yeah,
holding header.
exactly. So he has his days, and he also has his days when he's shit. But I don't believe it was the reason why we lost yesterday's game. Like,
More
yes,
than
nobody,
way more than.
nobody was. I think no one was ready for that game. Like, Aston Villa wanted it more than us. That's what I feel.
So Aston Villa wanted it more than you. So I just have to the question: does that raise question marks for you?
No, it doesn't. To be honest. Now, the reason what the moment I'll start, or rather, the moment it to raise question mark for me is if maybe we play like this against Everton, and then on our next game, maybe like next 3 games we still play like this, then I'll be like, oh, okay, something is wrong. But it's just one game. They scored 7 goals, but they still get 3 points. So
No,
it's
but
not really a big
there's
deal.
a humiliating thing, and I'm sure Liverpool will come out from this. It's just like they have great mentalities in that dressing room to get beyond this period and like think about it and just move away from the result more or less. And the best way is to respond in the Merseyside derby against the most informed team in the league at this point.
Exactly.
So yeah, but like I still have questions over that defense.
No, obviously, no. The thing is, this is how we started last season. We started playing this high line, but throughout the course of the season, club changed it, made it more like compact and everything. So I feel that is what they're gonna do for Everton game because we can't play this nonsense high line against Everton. It's not gonna work. James is gonna have a field day giving Cavallini balls, so he should better not try it. So but like I said, I'm not really bothered about that loss. I feel it's something they can work on. Like this is Liverpool, man. Like it happens. People get beaten. It happens.
Mm.
So we just have to move on from it and play better next time.
Yeah. Also, onto the next Merseyside team. Everton look like something.
So what happens when you back the manager?
They look like they're about to. They look like a genuine European team that they could genuinely make Europe this time. And
And
that's
they
the
got
thing.
Ben
The
Godfrey.
Premier League is improving in my own eyes because now there are 10 teams challenging for 6 places. They're almost yeah,
Yeah, 10 teams, so 6. Yeah.
10 teams for 6 in that space. And they just keep on moving. They just keep on like for Everton. I can wake up to watch Everton at 5:30 a.m. because I'm sure I will get something out of it. They play football, and like now they were able to even do some changes this last week, bringing on Tom Davies, and bringing
They
on.
got Ben
Huh?
Godfrey as well. They just
They
got
just
Ben
got Ben
Godfrey.
Godfrey today, and the deadline, which is an outstanding good signing for like the defense and everything, an extra man in the defense. They also, but like the signing of James, Dokore, and Allen is just fantastic. And you know one thing, the fact that they play only one game a week is actually fantastic.
Oh yeah, with no Europe for them or anything, they're going to be focused on getting into. I'm sure their aim right now in the dressing room will be formed beyond this top four, but I feel realistically they should make sure they enter top six this season.
No, I think that they know that it's being realistic. They're going to get top seven.
Top six.
Like their
Top
aim is
six.
Europe. Yeah,
Yeah,
top
their
six.
aim is
Their aim
Europe.
should be Europe because
Yeah.
that midfield, my lord, that's a very good midfield. They all complement each other very well.
And you know,
Okay.
someone said is that Ancelotti just went back to simple football, bringing in the right midfielders that combine with each other. A good ball winning midfielder in what do you call it? Alan, who can also be a box to box midfielder as well too. Dokore is a powerhouse. I don't know how people would never sign Dokore, but Dokore is a powerhouse. They now brought in James. James has come into the league, and everyone will say that, oh, because it's a Premier League, how does he want to play inside rain? No, 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 no. I hate I hate Premier League pundits so much. Rainy night in Stoke. Do these guys know James is South American, comes from Colombia.
Bro, he was born with football in his hands.
He was born with football. When we talk of rugged football, do you know the leagues these guys are coming from? You're not talking, oh, he's coming to Premier League. Premier League that what? That's the thing. That's why for me, pundits these days, like they say, I take their word with like absolutely just the pinch of salt is even very small. Is even very small to say.
For me, the thing with Everton is I want to see their game against Liverpool also, because
Yep,
they faced okay opposition, but that their defense and that their keeper.
Jordan Pickford
As
is
much as I attacked Adrian just now, you see that Pickford. Pickford is on Kepa's level. Like,
Agreed.
did you see what he did when he caught the ball and let it go? Like, so like I want to see their game against Liverpool. I want to see, okay,
that's
can you
England's number one. You
fantastically
know,
play your game? So if they play well again, maybe let's say they lose, but if they play well, I'm like, this guy can be a threat. But if they get destroyed by Liverpool and then they go on a poor run of games, then I'm like, yeah, this was just you started well, you had easier
hmm
position to play, and you could just beat people that you're better than. It's that simple.
yeah, I
I
think
feel I feel we will see the real Everton after they lose a game. How they react after
Yeah,
losing
how
a
they
game.
react to it, yes.
I think that's when we'll see how like who the real Everton is, what they can actually achieve. But obviously, top six they should be getting top six. Anything outside top six is a failure for them
hmm,
because they have the players already. So and they have the
everything
manager
outside
as
top
well.
six is. I mean, we have to also give credit to Kalu, man. Kalu will come in. Then my gunman Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I kept on shouting. I remember at the time I kept on shouting that Dominic Calvert-Lewin seems like a genuine. He looks like a striker, but I was called that guy is just probably an athlete.
I think
But
he's an Ancelotti striker.
fact,
Like I don't want to go too far to disrespect a legend, but like
people
Inzaghi
Inzaghi.
kind of player. Like, and it's what I was telling you the other time about him saying 300 goals, 210 with one touch. How many goals has Calvert-Lewin scored with more than one touch this season? I think all his goals have been with one touch, if I'm not mistaken.
So
Yeah.
he's just working on his positioning to be in
His
the right spot.
positioning, his finishing. It's just like Aubameyang when he was in Dortmund, and he has the pace to get in behind players. He seems to be smarter now because
Yeah.
under Ronald Koeman, he wanted the ball to feet, wanted to take players on this and that.
What do you mean? Even that Barcelona coach, current Barcelona coach, Ronald Koeman, he
Yes,
played
that's
him
what I'm
as
saying.
a
Under Ronald Koeman,
he played Dominic Calvert-Lewin as a right wing back.
exactly. So he didn't do him any favors, but he wasn't
Mm.
as smart as he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Ancelotti has probably seen him in training, see what he can do. He's seen that he's a gunman, he can finish. All he needed to work on was his positioning, and
Yeah, and
man,
his hold up play is
he
getting a
looks like
bit
a
better.
quality
And you
player.
know what? He's also someone he works with Duncan Ferguson. Duncan Ferguson was like a striker like him, very, very aerially good. He has a good leap. Like I can't lie to you, like
He seems very, very complete.
he seems very, very complete. But there's still some work he needs to do with the ball at his feet.
Yeah,
He still needs to
yeah.
do. But generally, even just speaking of that Cavalier, I think he's improving. I think he's going to be among top five strikers at the end of the league, at the end of like the season. To be
But can you also say he's just a product of the system he's in? Because at a point, this Everton midfield, maybe there are going to be a few games where they're going to struggle. Can he like take the game by the scruff? Because that's what differentiates an elite striker from any other striker in the
No,
world.
let me tell you something. One thing I know is that whenever people are struggling, they usually go to what I call cross and is this cross and it's just they just go back to normalcy and be like,
Cross
you
and
know,
inshallah.
just cross and inshallah, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And they have Dom. Dom has good leap. Dom is good in the air. And they
They
have
have
a good
DDA.
they have
DDA
Dini
can
as a
whip
good
it.
good crosser. You have the likes of so even sometimes he's also very, very agile. He can move it. He knows how to fight for a ball.
Yeah.
He knows how to fight for a ball too. So when push comes to shove, I think I always count on Dominic Calvert-Lewin to score a goal a game because there's always a chance that once Scruffy play one point like that or even a simple cross, he's likely to score.
It just seems like a young striker who is hungry for goals. He just
Exactly,
wants goals. He wants to score goals.
Yeah, for
exactly.
me, the thing I have, or the thing that worries me about Cavalloni is consistency.
Yep.
Because, like, or rather, before the end of 2019, he was on fire. Beginning of 2020, he was on fire as well. But, like, before the season ended, he just dipped. So now the problem is, can he do it for 50 games a season, or maybe like, or let's say 40 since they're not playing Europe?
Yeah.
Can he do it for like 40 plus games a season this year? I don't know. We'll only wait and see. But if he can, then yeah, he's going to be a top striker. But I
Yeah.
just feel for me, just consistency that might be his problem.
Do you rate him?
I rate him, obviously. I rate him, but not that much, to be honest.
Yeah, I think me and
You
Bolu
know,
are in the same.
there are, there are players that play well based on hype. You
Yeah.
know, when everything is going good, everything is going good. But when they just maybe lose confidence a little bit, is very hard for them to pick it up again. So judging based on his last season form, I don't rate him that highly. But if he can, if he can go all the way this season, then yeah, he's gonna be a top striker.
Okay. Then yeah, going on to another team, Leeds United and City. If you watch that game was back and forth and very, very entertaining. It was like pure Sunday league football and all these kind of things. And it keeps me questioning one thing. Leeds United, do they have a chance of even breaking to that? Do they have a chance to be like Sheffield United this season?
Leeds is staying.
Yeah,
No, we
Leeds.
know.
hundred
Leeds and
percent.
Aston Villa are staying. I know that one for sure.
West Brom and Fulham, they should just start getting ready to go back. I don't know who the third team will be, but those two should start getting.
Especially that Fulham.
But now Leeds under BS, because I think when I really noticed, because you used to talk about BS, but I never.
Yeah.
It was up until when Arsenal faced them in the FA Cup
Mm-hmm.
last season. I was like, wow, this team, they actually play nice football. They are good to watch.
They
And
played us off the park in that first half.
that's going to be a team that stays. I don't know if they can pull off the shape. It's possible, but then with the Premier League, I really can't say if they can pull off a shape.
I think a lot of things contributed to Sheffield's thing, like how bad Arsenal were, how bad Spurs were.
Yeah.
There's a lot of inconsistency around the league and the normal top six teams. But right now, I think they have a lot more to overcome than what Sheffield did. So I don't see it happening.
Oh yeah, but my own problem with Leeds is that they always burn out. BSL
Yeah.
teams, you see their pressing, you see their situation. Even against the good City team, like City should have scored like 2 or 3 in that first half, but City in the second half, like Leeds came out and were like giving it back and forth, and that's like it's like Guardiola and his mentor playing against each other. It was so good to watch and all of that, but it was quite messy in all situations. But like in the whole grand scheme of things, is that Leeds United genuinely have good aspirations for the season, and I see them qualify. I see them just staying in the Premier League at this first season and like giving lots of people trouble.
One thing I've noticed is with the press, I'm like, all these teams are like pressing. I really want to see how it goes as the season progresses. Because it was a short break. There are a lot of games that are packed. I don't think teams that can start, they might be pressing in house, they might be like really aggressive about it. But as the season goes by and there's risk of injury, I feel it to slow down. The teams will still press,
Burnout.
but not be as aggressive as you're seeing it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I
Because
think
this season is shorter than the other ones. Games are so packed. They didn't have the rest that usually they normally get like 3-4 months of break. They go barely 2 months. So that kind of thing, I want to see how that plays out also.
Yeah, I see them staying in the Premier League, but top 10 would be very difficult. If we watch that City game, after like 70th or 80th minutes, they're already done. Like they were tired. They're just like hoping that okay, maybe City won't take their chances. So and I
But they
feel
had
like
good chances, like Bamford.
yeah,
Bamford is
exactly.
I
And
was saying
another
it.
thing is the quality. They don't really. I don't think they have the quality that can take them through a 38 game Premier League season.
but they have good coaching. Coaching will take you far.
See, coaching is one thing, but then quality, the coach won't go on the
Yeah.
pitch and score the goals. You see, like someone like Bamford, if you give Bamford chances to maybe another top player, that game would have been done.
Yep.
So you get the lack of quality also show on the team.
Yeah.
But I feel maybe I see them bottom 10, maybe like 11th, 12th.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, what about City again? Those guys seem like off.
Well, they have injuries. They do have a lot of injuries.
I feel they haven't put their best team up yet. So now Pep is just trying to get the players back in shape
Yeah.
and just manage what he has right now. But then I feel this Premier League is very open. It's going to be maybe Liverpool might still win, but it's not going to be as easy as last year. I don't think so.
Yeah, to me, I don't see any team getting up to
90.
95 points.
No.
Maybe 90 on the dot, but anything more than 90 will be very difficult. Like this season may end. Maybe the winner might finish with like 80 something points.
Yeah, which is
There's
like
a lot
normal
of
Premier
firepower in the
League.
Prem this season.
Exactly.
A lot of firepower in the Prem this season.
Yeah.
Like nothing is really, really sure this season, which is quite good for us, honestly, because and in terms of entertainment, it's quite nice. And
Exactly.
I think it just kind of removes the last season. But there's also a situation is that why many people are just conceding goals too much.
Penalties as well.
Many people are just conceding goals too much as well. Too. Penalties have always been a situation of VAR and of that, but it's just getting like it's so messy here. It's so messy this year.
Like this season, there has not been any new draw so far. Everyone is scoring goals.
Everyone is scoring goals. But yeah, speaking of goals scored in a game, Manchester United won. Tottenham Hotspur 6.
You know how confused I was watching that match because I was like, okay, should I support Tottenham now? Once it goes to like 5-1, I was like, sports all the way.
Why will you get to 5-1? Let me tell you, when I saw that game, the fact we now scored a penalty first minute, I was like, okay, this could be a good ride. Then I saw this ex-convict. I saw this ex-convict pulling
Captain by captain.
Bro, this man should be in wherever he is. Is this Cyprus that they locked him down? Chris, he needs to go back to Mykonos and be locked down because why is he behaving like it? Then I think for me as a United fan, I was quite angered, like because the whole performance just showed every single problem United, that no coaching, no vibes, no good recruitment. Because first of all, the whole game was about, and you know one thing, there's so much English bias because no one ever spoke of Harry Maguire. Only Patrice Evra. Only Patrice Evra said that
Maguire was, if you remember, before you signed him, he had a good season at Leicester, and then when he was linked with him, Man City was also linked with him. So from outside, it's like, oh, this is a great player. Then when he came in, people forget that last season was bad, but he improved your defensive record.
Yeah.
So on paper, if you have not watched any games and I told you this is a player, he came in and improved their defensive record. City wanted him. You're like, oh, this is a good defender. Oh, so I watch my United games.
The thing about Maguire is this is the best Maguire can do. The difference between defending in Leicester City and defending in Man U is when you're defending in Leicester City, your midfielders are there for you. You know, Leicester they don't play expansive football that much.
Yeah.
Most times they pack the balls against big teams and they also hit them on the counter. But when you now come to a team like United where everyone is going forward to score goals, against small teams, and it leaves defenders exposed. then that's when we now start seeing that Maguire isn't really that good. So I won't say he's terrible,
It's not terrible.
but this is the best he is. Like, this is what he is. This is what you guys bought. It's
He's a
just that
40
I
mil.
feel
He's not 80
At
million.
most he's a 40 million defender.
maybe
He's a
less.
40. Joel Matip is better than him. Like, there are many defenders that can are better than him, but it's all about coming back to United's system. If you know what, I'm going to even start from Spurs' perspective. That was amazing. That was as Mourinho called them. I want you to be. What did he say again?
Cunts.
I want it to be cunts. What's the word?
Bastards in the sense of football.
What's the name? But I wanted to be. I wanted to be. No more nice guys. That was He made them. He said, "I want you to be cunts," and I was like, "Yes, you guys are cunts today. Like, you guys are really moving like cunts." And for the first time, I can finally say that yes, I see a Mourinho team. Ndombele is back in that team. Mourinho has finally realized how good Ndombele is. They put their egos aside, which is quite good for Spurs in the long run because they now have a creative player in the point. They've now found that Harry Kane cannot be doing too much running, so they don't say Harry Kane come and be doing like Wayne Rooney and be playing that. What's the word? Is it trequartista role where he just he just drops back and he has runners. He has Big Wine. He has Son and Harry
Ronaldo.
and Gareth Bale is coming into this too. So
This Tottenham thing, they're looking sketchy.
they're looking a bit good. They're looking. I can finally say, okay,
There's something going on there.
there's something going on here. Like, I can give Spurs all that right now, and I can't even lie to you. They've signed good. I thought Daniel Levy was going to pocket money this year for COVID, and I raised my hand up and I said that Daniel Levy spent money this year, and he backed Jose. They bought Carlos Vinicius as a backup striker, which is something they need. They bought Gareth Bale.
Both fullbacks, they go a left back.
Left back and right back.
When they started, when even that goes from Southampton,
Højbjerg.
I remember when they signed him, I was like, this guy might cause a bit of trouble because now he's a good DM because he plays as a good DM for them, right?
Yeah, he's the one that assisted Ori's goal yesterday. That was such a great pass. Like, all of that was just fantastic from Spurs' perspective. And I have to say, okay, Spurs now look like genuine top 4 contenders.
In my opinion, take nothing away from Spurs. Great performance, but I think that game attests to how bad Man United are, not how great Tottenham are. Because the first goal, there's not that team in the Premier League that concedes the first goal. There's no single team in the Premier League that concedes the first goal except Man United. If you look at the first goal, it was a comedy of errors because, first of all, headed it to Bailly's head. And Bailly headed it out. And he headed it back to Ndombele. And when Shaw tried to clear it, he pushed him. He dragged him. And when Shaw was still with the ball, then he pushed him to the ground. This Maguire, one person. And then he tried to slide tackle, but it was already gone. The second goal, quick free kick, there's nothing they could do about that. The third goal, poor coaching.
He was chasing Maguire. His positioning was so bad. He was chasing Kane all around.
Yeah, but the fourth goal, is that not probably they told him to man mark Kane? That's probably what Ole told him to do.
How can you be telling him to man mark Kane? Somebody that cannot move.
I don't know. There's no reason why he would follow Kane all over the pitch if he hasn't been told to man mark Kane.
Look, the thing is, you can blame United as much as you want, but Ole is not a good manager for you.
Yeah, but look at the third goal. Look at the is it the third goal or the fourth goal? The fourth goal
where Shaw comes
down. Shaw moved inside, so Maguire went to cover for him.
Uh-huh.
And when Maguire went to cover for him, instead of him to track the cross, he went out to cover for Harry Kane with 2 Spurs players in the box. And when Son went to the near post and scored, he was shocked.
I know.
What do you expect?
I know all of that. For me, even the third goal when what's this guy?
Playing out from the
Eric
back.
Bailly was trying to play out from the back. He passed to Matic. And you know what? It was directly after a red card. That's the thing. Now I'm going to go on my rant because now this is my therapy session. Because my own situation in all of this was that, first of all, that third goal, you just had a red card. There was no leader. Harry Maguire, how is Harry Maguire the captain of United? Because you just came in, 80 million, you have a big head, you're English. That's his own credentials. That's
Who
all that is
else
saving.
right now? Who else could have been? Because Bruno wasn't there. Who else could have given that armband to?
Bro,
David
as far as I'm
De Gea.
concerned, they can give it to David De Gea. You don't come in you don't come in one season and they give you captaincy immediately.
Or Rashford, anybody
Bro,
except Maguire.
anybody but Maguire. Maguire had a bad game. What they needed at that point was that they needed the leader to say, Maguire, after those 2 chances, game, like get your head in the game. Like forget about the 2 chances. Let's get ahead in the game.
Yeah,
So that
they
was the
need,
problem. Sorry,
they
who
need
won?
a vote.
Signed him. That was like one of his qualities. He's a leader. He can come in and perform and like shout on and off the pitch. He has the respect of the lads and all that.
No,
But
it's
even
just
beyond that,
because he has a big head, bro. He has
But you know,
nothing.
there's a difference playing for Leicester and playing for United.
Exactly.
Like Leicester, if you make a mistake in Leicester, you say okay, it's okay. Like it's not really a big deal. But when you come to United, where there's like so much pressure, like that's why there's some players that they are good for small teams. They're really good for
Yes.
small teams.
Yes.
While there's some players that they choke. Then when they go to big teams, they choke. Let's look at. I don't want to divert, but let's look at someone like Loftus-Cheek. Now he was a baller in Crystal Palace. He came back to Chelsea. He didn't do anything.
No, he did well. He did well, but I will always give Loftus-Cheek a little because of his injury and all of that. But now
I never saw anything special in him. To be honest.
I'm not really seeing anything
Real
special.
talk.
He looks like a good player. It just looks like a decent player. He won't
Yeah.
really. He can't really start for Chelsea because there are better players ahead of him, even on
Exactly.
his best form.
And now
I
I
don't see
think
any
he's in
And now
difference.
form
he just ended up in Fulham, which is going to make his career worse because like you're going to a relegation where you need to be raising your career
I
up.
think Loftus-Cheek is just dark-skinned Ross Barkley. There's no difference between the two.
Ross
of them,
Barkley is
in my
better than
opinion.
him.
No, Loftus-Cheek, they're the
you see
same
that
player. in my
Ross
opinion.
Barkley had a good run in the Premier League. That one you can say
Yeah.
Ross Barkley
Yeah.
had like good
Yes,
at least
but
2-3 seasons. At
as of
Everton.
right now, I just see them as the same player.
No,
Same
Ross
player.
is gonna do something in Villa. Ross is gonna do
No,
something.
Ross is gonna do well in Villa.
He's gonna do
From
well
that
in Villa.
Liverpool game, I could see this guy is gonna be a
But
problem.
yeah, back to United. So now my own rant is this: United are run poorly because of Mr. Ed Woodward. And I'm sorry to say, but Ed Woodward,
Ed Woodward
600 years.
as a coach only has blood.
No, but this is the thing. Who hired Oli? It's not Ed Woodward. The whole point of what I'm trying to say is that United have made bad choices. We're now suffering the consequences. You can sign many top players, but if you're not in the right coaching point, like as far as I'm concerned now, United have signed Cavani, Telles, and all of that. Everyone will say, "Oh, Oli wasn't really backed." Obviously, he wasn't really backed. We should have brought in a right winger because Daniel James, as far as I'm concerned, should have headed to Leeds. Leeds wanted him. I would have loved him to go, and United would have.
No,
You know that Leeds wanted him for 25
We
million.
don't want him. We don't want him.
Leeds wanted him for 25 million pounds, which is quite good. You should have sold him for a profit of 10 million, but you didn't want to sell him. You could have used that money to buy the Sancho deal that you say you wanted a long time ago. But it's poor recruitment from United that has cost us to where we are right now. It's bad management because it all stems from the board. You waited for Sancho to be bad. You waited for Sancho all the way to the deadline, thinking Dortmund would say 120. Oh, we're now okay. Here's 100 million. Okay, we'll accept. They said 120 million, but you tried and tried. Now you were doing last minute to Usman Dembele. You were trying to. It's just covering everything. And you know what? This season is gonna be bad. I'm saying it now. After that 6-1 drop in, I have no hope.
As you should.
I have no hope because first of all, there's no point in me saying that we have quality in that team. No matter what happens, like there's still enough quality to get us somewhere.
Well, see, that's the thing.
To not be losing. No, that's what. No, I'm gonna beat up. There's enough quality to get us to where we are. There's enough quality to just harness the players. And you know, when we talk about coaching and all of that, a coach also knows his players' weaknesses, so he uses different things to cover up those weaknesses. You harness those weaknesses and you make it and you mold it into a situation where one player has this weakness, I'll use another player to help cover that weakness and all of that.
Like Arsenal going to a back three.
Exactly. Simple. That's just a simple thing. We are bad defensively, so let's go to a back three. More men at the back to be more defensive resolute, which is the issue. But no, Oli says 4-2-3-1. Bruno has never been a number 10. Bruno has always been a number 8. No one knows that. Van der Beek is.
What does that do for Pogba?
What does that do for Pogba? I'm not even going to go to Pogba because Pogba is annoying me at this point now because I'm a big Pogba fan. Everybody knows that. PP6 till I die. But at this point now, That guy, he needs help. I don't know what is wrong with him. I don't know whether he's fat.
He needs to be unlocked.
I don't know. How many times do you need to be unlocked, bro? Like show me
Yes, but like
something.
you
No,
said,
excuse me.
you said Bruno is a number 8,
Yeah,
and Pogba is a number 8.
that's
So
why.
are we blaming this on poor recruitment? Are we blaming this on the
Yes,
board? Are we blaming this on Ole?
two things can be right. In fact, at this point, three things can be right. United have poor recruitment, which has led us to this point because United this season should have gone for a DM. Matic is on his last legs. Nothing changes until Matic is gone.
Because I'm McTominay now.
God forbid.
Sorry.
Then we talk about what's this guy's name? Oli is not a good coach. You don't come all the way from mode in whether it's deep inside Norway to become Manchester United coach. You were just meant to be a stopgap coach to do this thing, but you won against PSG and you did what do you call it, and you scored on 99 European final. That's why you're United coach. Ed Woodward is a fallacy. He needs help in his life. He's just an investment banker because all he could solve, all this could happen if he just hire a good director of football. Michael Edwards, if you give Michael Edwards the amount of money United have, you think Liverpool will be unstoppable for the next couple of years. But despite the amount of money they have, they're still able to harness what they have. A good sporting director is what United needs because a good sporting director will say, Oli cannot be the manager. A good sporting director will say, I'm not going to get you out, we're not hiring this manager. A good sporting director would never have hired Jose Mourinho because you know this is how you want to play. And that all comes back to Ed Woodward and the board. So none of it.
What? Yeah, when you're done, I just want to say something when you're done.
Yeah, so all of this just comes down to Ed Woodward and all of those kind of things. And now they're signing Cavani and Telles and they will say, oh, we tried to sign. Trust me, tomorrow morning, watch and see what United will release a press statement saying we tried to sign, but COVID this and all of that, and we're going to be back for Sancho. I don't know why I think they still want to come back to buy Sancho next year, but I'm sorry, that door is closed. If United sign Sancho, the only time they can sign Sancho again is in January. If they can try, because by what do you call it, by next year, 4 more clubs are coming to this thing, and Sancho has better deals, so he's finished. Sancho United is done for life unless they sign in January. So all of this is just useless. Like, you sign an incompetent guy, and everyone will tell me 3 things can be right. Oli is not a good coach. It's time for people to call him out. Gary Neville, everyone needs to start looking at your friend. Look at your friend and be like, bros, you feel handle this thing. You don't know how to coach. Your players, weaknesses are showing a lot. Players are not doing well. You don't have a leader in the dressing room. Harry Maguire is not a leader and he's still an ex-convict struggling with something in Mykonos. You have a bad board. So all of this is just United is in shambles and United are not coming top 4 this season. If they come top 4, it's because somebody is sacked. And I'm saying it now that at this point, Oli might get sacked. And there is still, like, Oli for me still has little to no excuse. The only excuse is that, yeah, you didn't back with a right winger. But as far as I'm concerned, you have a good enough squad to compete. My own opinion.
Problem with Man United is when Ole gets sacked, probably throw Poch in there, and you start another rebuild all over again.
I don't think it's a rebuild. There's no
that's
rebuild.
Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, and Oli.
Bro, there's no rebuild.
Wait, now that's 4 rebuild. Okay, let's say there's no rebuild. Let's say your squad as it is right now is going to be very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think Pogba is going to be Man United at this point.
Yeah, he should. I'm not against him leaving at this point. If you sell Pogba, you can bring in 2 more midfielders, a DM and another number 8.
First of all, the first thing United has to do to move forward is sack Ole and get Poch in. That's the first thing you need to do. That nobody's arguing that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not good enough. We said this last season when you were making a miraculous run to top 3. That Ole this, Ole that. He's just letting the players play with confidence now. But when it comes to the time that they need to be coached, Ole will be found out. Like I was telling my friend today, like the first training session with Arteta at Arsenal, you could see like he was telling the Arsenal players, okay, we want to play out of the park. Under Emery, your playing out of the park was faulty. The first thing he did was to train the players on how to receive the ball when they're playing out from the park, so that they can know when the oncoming player that is pressing them is coming, so they know what to do with the ball better. There are so many like faults, or I don't know the word to use, but I'll use faults in so many United players that all they need is a coach to spot it and tell them, you're not doing this the right way. You should do this. Like the squad, like you keep saying, the squad is not bad enough. It's not bad. It's good enough. But at the same time, these players need coaching to improve. Coaching is what improves players. So if you have a player like Maguire who seemed to be quality at Leicester and he's not good enough in Man United, why are you not looking at the coach? Why do you keep blaming the players, the players, the players, the players? I think some of the players are not good enough and they should take credit for what happened yesterday. Like look at the fifth goal, s.h.a.y.o. Paul Pogba was asked to play left wing and he was strolling when Aurier was running in behind.
That one thinks it's
It's
bigger than the
basic
club.
football. You track your marker. It's not something that a coach should tell you. So like you should know to track your marker. So the
But
players should
players
take
like Luke Shaw, his position
exactly.
is bad.
Exactly.
He's a bad athlete.
Luke Shaw is a left back and he's playing where the GM is meant to be.
Exactly. Someone said Luke Shaw is always talking in. Why are you talking in? Stay on the wing. And this is what Mourinho said. Mourinho said this, and I can't even lie to you. My mind is now calm that you know what? I apologize to Jose Mourinho for his time at United. You had your own faults, but United didn't help you at all. And I'll fully come out like that. But I think you needed to leave, like, because you were not really right for the club. You shouldn't have been hired. But my own point is that Mourinho said it's that they have to hold Luke Shaw's hand. Like he always says that he has to coach Luke Shaw every single time. And I'm beginning to see it. I called it one time. I was like, Carantini was one of the best left backs in the league. And everyone was like, Luke Shaw was better. I said, Luke Shaw is not even better than. Luke Shaw is not even in the top 10 Premier League. That guy is poor. And now I'm glad we signed the left back so that he will know that, man, I'm sitting on the bench. I don't think he wants to play for England because he's so comfortable, he's so fat, and he's just playing nonsense there. Bro, nobody should come for me. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Like, Luke Shaw needs help. Like, he needs to know that his career is on the drops and he needs to get it in his head that, bro, like, where am I going to? Like, he doesn't have any idea. His IQ is low.
Another thing about Man United is that you guys are suffering from the decisions you made for your previous managers right now. It's the same thing Arsenal was going through when we had a squad in Mkhitaryan, El Neni, when these players weren't good enough. One of my friends he's a United fan. He was ranting to me seriously today. He told me that the previous managers that when they will submit a list of players that they want, I don't know whether it's purposely, but Woodward would ignore the first two and overpay for the third choice option.
Yeah.
Like Fred was not Mourinho's first choice, but they paid 55 million for him, and he has not done anything since he came to the Premier League. So the squad is full of some players that your managers don't want to work with, and when your manager now gives the list, so United looks like a mess as it is right now. They look like Arsenal in 2015. Just they have a good squad, and that's the good thing that they can get a good manager in, and he can steady the ship, and from there, if he gets backed, he's upwards. But for now, we look like a mess, a big
Because
mess.
as far as I'm concerned, it's just a good coach can come in and do something well. For me, I still think we're just 4 signings away from genuinely challenging for a title. You get a DM, you get another centre back, you get a striker, and you get, what's the last one? A right winger. A right winger. We sort out left back now. So it's just 4 signings for me. Then if you sell Pogba, you get another 1 or 2 midfielders for squad depth. So
that's the thing. Even if you make all this signings, as long as Ole is still there, like what Feyi was saying earlier, Ole relies on this player is confident, he can do it, he can have a moment of brilliance and win the game. You want to have a system in place where you're like, Ole, this is telling his boys, this is how I want you to play, this is how I want to move the ball. Not the one where it's you'll just have fun, go out there, showing them clear from the pass or something. Like, as long as you don't have a tactician up there, you can say, we're 4 signings away. Yes, you're 4 signings away, but if the coach doesn't know how to integrate those 4 signings into the current team, it's not going to work. And personally, I feel that if you all want to get back on track, Ole has to go, which is the problem.
He has to go. I just think like Poch is in the wings. Like Poch is just right there. Like he's waiting. And at this point now, like I'm sorry, the board is also culpable because they also hung him out to dry, like for not signing a right winger. And they now try to get Ousmane Dembele on loan because I think they still want to get Sancho in the time and everything. But it's not going to work. Like only at this point because the run of games we have for October is bad. So that guy might not see the end of this year as a United coach.
For me, to be honest, I don't really see United sacking Ole this season
I don't see it.
because they already have the excuse that they didn't back him. That was already an excuse, you know. So Ole, let's not lie. Ole deserved that contract. The United manager contract, he deserved it
How?
after that run of good games he had when he first came.
But a
Like,
competent board will know that, bro, you're not good enough. Like, what are your credentials?
but see, if you're looking at credentials, then we won't have managers like Zidane. We won't have managers like Pep
Which,
Guardiola. We
which
won't.
is
We
true,
won't
'cause
look at. We won't have those managers.
and compared to what was
No, all of you are saying the same thing. Oli has been managing for 10 years, you know.
I know. Look, see, if I
No, no,
know.
no, pause. Oli has been managing for 10 years. And we're
Maybe,
talking about the likes of Guardiola, Lampard, who have managed for 2, 3 years. Those ones I can still say that, okay, they may give it a try. But Oli has not shown anything for 10 years. If you're telling me, no,
Oli,
let's look at time. Oli has not done anything for more than 10 years. If you're talking about someone who has done it, who has just started his job like Lampard, I can give him a little bit of time that, okay, let's see how you grow in the job. Let's see if you're another kind of Guardiola, who Guardiola also did the same thing like that. Zidane also did the same thing like that. But you've been managing for 10 years. 10 years is not. And the thing is that all these other managers like Zidane, Guardiola, they worked with people before they became coaches.
see, the thing is, when Ole came in, the dressing room was a mess. He broke us. Mourinho had apparently like things were toxic there.
Yeah.
He brought like peace into his dressing room, and then he had a good run of games. There was a whole PSG comeback. So then the board looks at that and is like, okay, maybe this is the man for the job, and they give him the contract and everything. And the amount of money that, because you spent money last year, I don't know how much, how much, you know how much you spent like this transfer.
This transfer window, less than 100. We spent
Because like
35
that,
plus 35 plus 20. 55.
because people were complaining before that, oh, Ole was on other managers, they'll be halfway through their project and they get sacked.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened with Moyes, Van Gaal, or Mourinho, that they were halfway through, they got sacked. So it's not the case of, for Man U, I don't see them doing the same thing again. Because if they were serious, if they sacked Ole and half project, it would just be stupid because they could have done this a year ago. Because I think it was last November also, he had a poor run of games, and he turned it around. So I feel now they're just going to stick with him and hope, okay, I hope he comes clean. Maybe
So if they come
I,
and no,
I
bro,
think
there's
I honestly
there's
think the difference
PSG, Leipzig,
between
and all of that. Go.
I
I honestly think the difference between United sacking Van Gaal and hiring Mourinho is you're leaving one style of football for a completely different style of football.
Exactly.
But between Ole and Poch, you're leaving one who wants to play one style of football but does not know how to implement it
Bet.
to somebody who is a master at implementing that particular style of football. He's been to the Champions League final with it. And he's a way better coach than Ole, can attract players more than Ole. So I think he's just
look, this has been there since. Poch has been available for almost a
yeah,
year.
but you got the United board. United board is terrible.
That's what I'm saying. That board has been terrible. And because they've done it in the past, I don't think they're going to not be like, oh, you know what, this is the time.
Please, those guys are incompetent. Once there's
If
pressure
they're
on them,
competent, they would sack Ole.
they will
If they
sack
are
Ole.
competent,
If
they
they
will
are
sack Ole.
competent, they will sack Ole, or Ole
That's
will
the
walk
problem.
away.
The board is not competent.
Bro, they will sack Ole. Bro, you cannot tell. They're already saying a 6-1 win, and there are going to be more wins like that. You're losing game. The place is toxic. Bro, he's going to be out soon, bro.
But the thing about it is one signing can save Ole's reputation in Man United as well. It's the same thing that happened with Bruno last January.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think Ole like you said, Ole relies on players on
Quality.
confidence. Like if he brings a good player that is playing well into the team, boom, you see a massive change. So hopefully now you guys have brought in Cavani. Although Cavani hasn't played ball in almost 6 months now. But Telles, Telles is on form. I believe he's on form.
Yeah.
So if he can come in, ginger
He's
the
better than
squad,
Luke Shaw, bro. Like
Telles is a very, very good signing because he offers every single thing Luke Shaw doesn't.
absolutely.
So like if after this signing United go on maybe on a 5 to 6 game winning run, Ole is not going anywhere. the only way Ole is going to leave United is if you guys are bad, like 10 games no wins, bad.
Like Emery
It's not
bad.
10 games no win. Look at the next fixtures in October.
The thing with that United team is those players like Ole. And whenever his job is on the line, they will, because do you know how many times I've been like, oh, we are facing City next for sure. He's going to get beaten and then he's getting sacked. players turn up because he has their trust. Like as much as he's not a good manager, he's not a good coach. He's a man manager.
He has a good
Manager.
relationship.
He has got all the players. So when it comes to this, like, yo, boys, play well. Like that's what he relies on. And I feel, yes, he have a tough run of games. But all it takes is maybe if you beat Leipzig or like PSG. They are
Exactly.
not
Just beat Leipzig and the trust is
beat
back.
Leipzig, you go with PSG, suddenly, only masterclass, only. Like as much as anything it can go bad, it can also go very well and you all get discipline. So that's
Bro,
what
did you say the next 4 games?
Sorry?
The next 4 games are something else.
It's PSG, Leipzig, Arsenal. I know there's one between PSG
And Chelsea.
That Chelsea that only has Lampard's number.
I can see United beating Chelsea, to be honest.
I don't see United losing all those 4 games.
Like that's the thing.
You see, I think even if he draws 1 and loses the 3, that will still bring confidence to the board. The board will still trust him more. No, like it's the truth. Now, last season we saw it. Last season now.
No,
like,
he didn't. No. What made him stay was the fact that he beat Man City and Tottenham in a space of 3 days. That one gave them confidence.
That's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Was it possible? Was it possible then? Don't you remember that you lost one of these teams and then people were like, oh, it's getting sacked. Then they beat City and Tottenham in 3 days.
That's what he just needs one win, one significant win, and everybody forget about it.
I feel like people don't understand. My own point is that Oli used to run on vibes. His vibes has finished.
Nah, but
I don't think so. He's going to be here for a long time.
You know, I understand what Funto is.
His vibes has finished because they will catch you. They
have
will
not looked this bad under Oli.
His vibes has finished.
This is terrible.
So once your vibes are finished, that you're just like, okay, I know everybody knows that lock up. United will not be able to.
United should have 0 points at this point. Like they should have highest 1 point because Brighton should have won them.
Brighton had 5 bars. Brighton had 5. Hit the bar 5 times.
Crystal Palace won them. Who else did they play?
Tottenham.
Tottenham thrashed them.
That's what I'm saying. And Tottenham had
0 points.
You know, that's the point. Tottenham had good strikers. Tottenham had people who could score goals. They were clinical. If Brighton was clinical,
Aubameyang and Pepe facing that United defense as it is right now, or even at best Salah, Mane, and Firmino.
Well, for me, I feel it's too early to judge.
Yeah,
it's just 3 games. It's just 3 games.
The same squad.
We've seen it from time.
Another thing
We've
is
been seeing the crowd. We've been seeing the signs.
But United had the 3rd best defense last season. You guys had the 3rd best defense last season.
His vibe, like Funto.
So vibes.
I don't know how he does it.
But what makes you think the vibes can't come back this season?
What?
The vibes may come back this season.
Everybody catch it.
Also, you guys didn't have preseason. That's on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel, for me, give Ole till let's say December. Let's see what it does by December. And if they're still maybe below top 10 or maybe because I know if they're in top 10, United board will still allow him. But if they're below top 10,
that ball, I'd be like, look, Pogba had COVID. And he came back without a preseason. He says that most of those players, he ran them down. Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Martial, during Project Restart, he played how many minutes a game were they playing? He can use that as an excuse and say, look, these boys are tired, just give me time. I want to get them back to fitness levels and things like that. So
it's a valid excuse, to be honest. It's a valid excuse.
And that's the thing. One win, if he just 1 out of those 4, and it can change.
I think one reason why the board might not sack him is because I'm sure the board, them, if they don't know, then I don't know, but they should know themselves that they haven't adequately backed him this time.
Yeah, exactly.
So that could be a reason why they've not sacked him.
And I'm sure they'll probably tell him that, okay, we're getting Sancho for you in January. Because that's why they probably wanted to do a loan for Dembele and Sarr and all of that. But it's all well and good. We hope to see what happens. But yeah, I think that will conclude our show for today. Chelsea won as well too. Seems they're kicking up and Mount is having the rest finally as well too. But yeah, that will conclude our show today. We're going to international break. So next week we're going to come in and just analyze the transfer window and how it went with a full panel back here. So you make sure you don't miss out on that as well too. So thank you guys for coming on to the show. Thank you, Bolu. Thank you, Feyi. Thank you, Damian, for taking time out of your podcast to come and record. We're looking forward to your own content as well. So make sure to check out the Lone Striker podcast for more content as well too. And make sure to continue to subscribe to our content, share, subscribe to our YouTube page, listen on all our podcast streaming platforms. And yeah, keep on moving. Episode 4 is done. See you in episode 5 next week.